experience high level of stress, can experience anxiety, insomnia, fatigue, and depression. Because of this fact, they may turn to unhealthy habits like smoking, drinking, overeating, or drug abuse to help deal with the stress. My brothers, the same situation you found when you went up on the high will be the same situation when you come down. Scholars suggest that stress is harmful because it presses the biological buttons inside men that have long outlived their unusefulness. When a man had a problem, and years ago, back when they were battling wild animals to save their families, the stress pumped certain elements in their body that they would fight or they would flee. The heart rate soared to send more blood to the brain, improving quick decision making. Blood shunned into the large muscles of the arms and the leg to provide more strength and speed and wave from the cup. Blood sugar rose to provide more fuel for quick energy.
Yes, I hear you.
Blood began to clot more quickly to prevent blood loss from wounds or internal damage.
All right. Teach.
It's not hard to draw lines from those natural responses to disease now associated with stressful living. So what should modern day man do to short circuit his ingrained tendencies? Then scholar gives us 10 factors or 10 ways to reduce the stress and toxics affecting our bodies. They say exercise regularly. They say eat and sleep well. They say meditate. They say solve the cause of your stress. They say avoid stressful situations. They say accept things you cannot change. They say don't take on more than you can handle. They say try a glass half full of attitude. Tackle first things first and savor your victory. I told you what scholars suggest, but I want to see what the word suggests. The word has, the scholars have 10 ways to counter stress. But Jarius gives us 3 ways to counter stress. You know, Jarius had a serious issue going on. Jarius was under tremendous pressure. His daughter was at the house laying at the point of death. Jarius had an issue that would drive most of us to drinking. Yeah, Darius had an issue that would drive most of us to pulling out our hair. Look, brothers, a lot of y'all are like me. We'll just grab our scalp. Darius had some issues going on. But what did Darius do about the issue that he had going on? Well, I'm glad you asked me the question. Well, the first thing we see Darius doing in this text, we find him worshiping God. You want to deal with stress in your life, you got to learn how to worship God. Now notice in this text, Darius is not worshiping God after his problem has been solved. But Darius is worshiping God in the midst of what is going on. A lot of us, when we get bogged down with our situations, we forget to worship God. Oh, y'all gonna help me in here? We forget to worship God. We worship God for who He is. And I want to ask a question up in here this morning. Does anybody here know who He is? Somebody said that He's bread in a starving land. Somebody said He's shelter in a time of sorrow. He water when I'm. Look, anybody in here know who He is? Because if you know who He is, then you really can worship Him. Whatever you need God to be, He will be what you need Him to be at the time you need Him to be. Let me help you here. Early on in chapter 5, we come into chapter 5, Jesus runs into a crazy man. And when he runs into the crazy man, this man had been in the graveyard. He had been cutting himself. He had been, nobody could bound him. Nobody could chain him. He had been loose. But when he came in the very presence of Jesus, something had to change. Right here, we see Jesus as a psychologist. Later on in the text, there's a woman who has an issue of blood. She had been bleeding for 12 long years. Yes, she had been bleeding. Nothing she done could help her. She spent all her money. The Bible says she went and seen all the doctors, but nothing could help her. But when she made her way to the crowd, something happened in her life. We see Jesus right here as a gynecologist. Then when we get to Darius' house, Darius' daughter had an issue going on, and Jesus takes care of her issue. We see him as a pediatrician. Whatever you need Jesus to be, Jesus can be that and more. Worship Him. Come here, David. David said that I was in a horrible pit. He said, and when I cried out unto the Lord, He leaned and He heard my cry. Picked me up out of the pit and placed my feet on solid ground. I want to tell somebody this morning who might be going through it. Brothers, you might be going through it, but I want to tell you this morning, if you just worship Him, He'll lean in your direction. It's hard for brothers to worship God. Some of us think it makes us look like we feel. Can I preach like I feel? Some of y'all think worshiping God is for sissies. But you don't know what I've been through. You don't know my story. Of the things that I've been through. You can't feel my pain. Oh, it took for me to get here. You'll never understand my praise. See, so it don't matter what nobody else is doing. I can lift up my hand and worship God because God has been too good to me. Jared falls at Jesus' feet. which symbolizes he worshiped him.
Yes.
Falls at his feet.
Yeah.
And when he began to worship him, Jesus tells him, let's go to your house. The only way to the house, there's some things that transpired that held him up from getting to the place where they needed to be in a timely manner. Yeah. When they left him, folk followed them.
Yes.
The Bible says they thronged Jesus. Everywhere Jesus went, a crowd of folk followed him. In the midst of that crowd, that woman who I told you about earlier, she was in the midst of the crowd. And this woman needed something from Jesus herself. This woman made her way through the crowd. And she touched the hem of his garment. Jesus looking around, asking, who touched me? The disciples said, Jesus, all these people around, and you asking, who touched you? Jesus said, you don't understand. It wasn't any kind of touch. He said, this woman touched me like she needed something. She touched me and virtue left from me when she touched me. Not all that transpired and all this conversation transpired. But what is Jairus doing?
Come on, help me.
While all this is going on? I told you he worshiped.
Yes.
But now he's waiting.
All right.
The Bible suggests that Jairus, but you don't hear Jairus saying nothing. The Bible does not say that Jairus interrupts Jesus. Hey, hold up, Jesus. You got to understand, my daughter is sick unto death. No. Jairus, you don't hear a word from Jairus in the midst of all this commotion going on.
All right.
Jairus is waiting on the Lord. And can I tell you something? Yeah, in your stressful situation, in your pressure situation, you got to remember to wait on God. You can't hurry God. Truth of the matter is, some of us have tried to help God. But you know, God don't need your help. God can do what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, where he wants to do it, and to who he wants to do it. You just got to learn how to step back and let God do what he do. The old folk would say it like this: you can't hurry God. All you got to do is wait. God will answer you in three ways. Sometimes he tell you yes, sometimes he tell you no, but then sometimes he tell you to wait. And some of you went ahead of God and you wish you would have waited on God. I want to ask a question up in here, and you ain't got to answer me, but just put this question in your mind. Is there any decision in your life that you made that you wish you had never made? Is there any moves in your life that you wish I had not taken? You wish you would have waited on God? Yeah, every time you go ahead of God, you miss out on what God has for you. Somebody say, well, you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand what I'm dealing with. Can I tell you something? Sometimes circumstances are designed for you to go through what you got to go through so God can bring you out the way he want to bring you out. Yeah, he's not trying to make you bitter. He's just trying to make you better. In other words, he's working on you. And when you come out, you'll be stronger. You'll be wilder than you ever been if you just wait on the Lord. Why did he wait? Why did he wait? Why did he wait? Now, I believe. Somebody say, he believed. I believe. Okay? So you won't go say, that preacher said, it's in the Bible. I believe that Jairus waited
All right.
because Jairus was hooked up on the promise.
Come on. That's good. That's good. I like that.
What you mean? Jesus didn't tell Jairus that it's a possibility that I'm going to your house. Jesus tells Jairus, let's go to your house. He tells him, he says, I'm going to your house. Yeah. So I believe that Jairus was hooked up on what Jesus said. Y'all ain't gonna help me up in here. Let me see, can I bring this home? My daughter sitting right over there. My daughter, she did well in school. And I often wondered, Pastor White, why she did so well in school. I even questioned her integrity. Girl, how are you doing so good in school? Yeah. I really questioned her integrity because the reason why I questioned her integrity is because I know who her daddy was. Y'all catch that tomorrow. Yeah, y'all catch that tomorrow. Yeah. I even questioned my wife's integrity. Because the girl did so good in school, I wanted a DNA test. Girl couldn't be my daughter. Making the grade she was making. Yeah. I said, what is it that made you do what you did? She said, Daddy, she said, you promised us something. I said, what is it? You promised us that if we did good in school, at graduation, we'll get a car. Yeah. She said, I seen how you did with my older brothers and sisters. Yeah. At graduation, you made good on your promise. So I know that I was next in line. So what I decided to do is I decided to do good in school because I know at the end of graduation I was going to get a car. Now if my daughter can act that way over a mere man's promise, how much more should we act that way over God's promise? I want to ask a question up in this place. Have he ever let you down? David took the form of the promise. He waited. Yes, sir. Oh God. I see this. The Holy Spirit is telling me. I wanted to give you three things. I don't want to give you 10 because we get confused with so much stuff to do in the midst of precious time. But I saw something else just now in the text. Right now, he worshiped. He waited. Now, how many of us know that things can get worse in the waiting period? Things may get worse before it gets better. Oh, y'all ain't gonna help me preach up in here. Now he worshiped, he waited, but I see something else up in here today. Watch this here. News come from the house. Man, don't trouble the master no more. Your daughter is now dead. Things get worse. Your daughter is now dead. Don't you trouble. Don't talk to him no more. Don't talk to him no more. Leave him alone. Now Jesus says to him, don't listen to that fool. Yeah. That's right. He says, be not afraid, only believe. Yeah. If you're going to deal with pressure situation, you can't waver in your faith. Oh, y'all ain't gonna help me here. Y'all know what faith is, don't you? Yeah, faith is the substance of things. Yeah, hope for and the evidence of things not seen. Faith is acting like it is, even though it's not, knowing that God has the power to make it big. Yeah. Y'all know what faith is, don't you? Yeah, you can't waver in your faith. Yeah, if you trust God for one thing, trust Him for all. Come on. They begin to make their way to the house. He's worshiping. He's waiting. He's not wavering in his faith. They get ready to go to the house. I'm getting ready to go home. I know I've been too long. They get ready to go to the house. What's strange to me, Jesus had 12 disciples. He got 12 of them. Brothers, he got 12 of them. 12 of them. But as he gets ready to move to the house, he only takes 3 of them. He got 12 of them. But when he gets ready to go to the house, he only takes Peter, James, and John. He got 12. When he's getting ready to go do something supernatural and he don't take all 12 of them with him, he only takes 3 of them with him. I believe that he couldn't take everybody with him. And I believe that he couldn't take everybody with him because everybody was not as spiritual enough to go where he needed to go. Yeah. If he would have tried to take Judas, Judas would have probably tried to sell the miracle. If he would have took Thomas, Thomas probably would have doubted the miracle. So he couldn't take everybody. What I'm trying to tell you, brothers, that everybody ain't qualified to go where you go. You got to watch your crowd. Everybody ain't a ride or die. Some folks are trying to toss you out of what God is trying to tell you he can do. Take Peter, James, and John. They make their way to the house. I got to close here. Because I'm going to see something else up here. I got to close here. I got to stop. He takes Peter, James, and John. They make their way to the house. And when they get to the house, there's some commotion going on. There's some folk there acting crazy. Hollering, screaming, acting a plum fool. Now, they were paid to do that. Because during that time they had what is called paid money. They were paid to act a fool. And now you got folk doing it for free. They were acting crazy out there. They had gotten to the point where they even scorned Jesus. Jesus run them all away from the house. I'm getting ready to go to my seat. I'm almost finished, y'all. Jesus run them away from the house. But he takes Peter, James, and John with him. And he brings them with him in the house. He takes Peter, James, John in the house. See, y'all waiting for me to tune up.
That's all right. Take your time. Paint the picture.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel it here. Got Peter, James,